We did it! We did it! No, 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 no! Wait. Wait!
So, Bitcoin did it. All-time high. Would you look at that? Swung failed, instantly nuked. How many percentages did we nuke here? Let's see. 15%. That's a proper sweep on Bitcoin. That's what I like to see. All of this, that range right here, everyone that longed here just got taken out. I'm not getting bearish at this point. This is designed to get you to be bearish. If you're watching this all panicked because you think you just bought the top on Bitcoin and now it's just gonna nuclear dump all the way back down to 20K, chillax. It's not gonna happen. At least I don't think it's gonna happen. I think this is just your classic liquidity grab, right? Bitcoin does this when it's volatile like this. We shot up, 36% in the last week. Obviously, we're gonna sweep down to grab some of that, and I'll show you more in depth of how I was actually looking at that. Let me get rid of this all-time high thing real quick. You get the point. That pink line is all-time highs. We swung failed on a 1 minute time frame. So if you go over here just to 1 minute candles, look at that. Pierced through it, got under within the minute. That was your sign to short this guy, and instantly just extremely quick cascading liquidation effect happening there over in Bitcoin and really all cryptocurrencies that you can leverage. You saw that across the board. So if you were long on your alts and stuff today, hoping for that Bitcoin all-time high, you got taught a lesson. Hope you had your stops in. But if we do go back and look at the fractals, because I do love looking at this, I think Bitcoin is aligned very well with this 2020 time frame. Remember, I said in my last video I thought we were here or here. I still think we are here. This is exactly what is happening right now, right? If we go to like a 4 hour, because I think you can see it a little better on a 4 hour. Let's get all the way back here. You can see that we had this kind of range here, all these lows. Then we shot up out of it. In this time frame, we went 20%, and then we went ahead and we grabbed all of that back down to the downside, all the way back 20%, and this wick right here swept all the lows from that range. Hope you see what I'm getting at here. So remember what that looked like. Now we're gonna go back over to current price. This is your range here. You went up 13%. You then swept down 14%, right? This wick here took out all the lows from here. You have now reclaimed above, and now it's gonna go charge back up. So what I would expect here is, since we're following that fractal so closely, I would expect Bitcoin to now breach the all-time highs, right? And then once it breaches all-time highs, gets up into I don't know, let's say, because that was 13%, the other one was 20%, we'll just say it's about a little more than half of what it did last cycle. So if we take from the bottom of this wick back up to this high, right, that would give us 50%. So let's just say 30%. That sounds about right. So if we take bottom of this wick, 30% up, that gives us around 76,000. So that means I would expect us to march up to 76,000, right? At this point, we get our ABC correction, and that would probably land us back at this all-time high value area, back test of the highs, and then we go for a final high, right? This would be our last correction in Bitcoin before the last higher high, which would land us, anywhere from that 100K, 85K, somewhere in this region. Maybe we swing fail 100K, just like we swung fail all-time highs. I would not be surprised if we see this sort of action at 100K, right? So be watching out for that. But I'm pretty confident this is kind of what's going to happen for Bitcoin. We're fractaling that last cycle so perfectly, it's crazy. So this makes sense to me. I think the alts and all that are about to start running. So if you do hold Bitcoin, think about getting those into alts as soon as we break the all-time high again, or even right now. I think it's going to be a really exciting month. This was a liquidity sweep to get all that leverage out of the markets before we could start where every chart in the world just starts going to the moon. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin, the simple overview. I did just want to get into kind of why we had this sweep, just so you guys could kind of see how that all works. I know I haven't really covered this in my trading series, so if you've been watching those, this will be some good info for you that I haven't covered yet on this channel. But we're going to jump over here to trading different real quick. This is something that I covered on that trading series, but just so we can get a grasp of what we were grabbing, you can see we had this chunk of liquidity up here, right? It wasn't much, but it did make sense to grab that. Obviously, the all-time highs, you got a lot of people putting stops up there, especially that shorted this high over here at 68.8. So it made sense to grab that before swinging it all the way back down to grab this. This red block down here was something that really needed to get swept before we could head up higher. You know, too many longs in the market from this whole range back in here that had their stops all in here. We needed to get them out of the market before we could go up higher. We weren't going to let them get away with long and all that. So that's what it looked like on the liquidity maps, and I do think we fully grabbed enough of it. I don't think we need to come grab any of this stuff. I think we grabbed enough of it. You know, this is probably going to fly up pretty quickly here. And then if we go over to trading light, this is going to look very complicated. Okay, I swear I'm not crazy. This all means something. This is actually very beneficial to be looking at all this information while you're trading. I don't want to cover everything in here, but we'll start off with the single prints because it did tap the single prints perfectly. The single prints are basically low volume areas on your daily opens, right? So you can see this is where our daily opened right at the start of this this big volume profile. You can see right here, and you can see when we broke up into new price discovery for the day, it swung very fast, which created a single print because there was almost no volume up in this range. So essentially each bar here, right, you see like you have one there, there. This is like the time that you spent in that volume area, right, in that price range. So obviously most of your volume's taking place at these prices, so those can act as big support or resistance. But if you swing into an area and swing out of it very quick, that'll show you that it actually doesn't like that area, right? It doesn't want to spend time up there, and that's what creates your single prints. So what you would do is once you fail the single print, you short the bottom of the single print, or you would just know to be looking for entries inside the single print, right? Because chances are it's not going to be staying in this range very long. And that's exactly what happened. We got out of the single print and we were then hunting lower single prints, right? So swung all the way back down until we found support at 59.9, swung out of that, creating a big chunk of single prints here. So that's that. And then the main thing I wanted to look at here was back in this range is where we saw all these longs open, right? So you had all these longs open. That's your CVD, cumulative volume delta, so it shows you the direction of the leverage, and then this right here shows you how many positions are actually opening. So as you can see right here, tons of longs opened, continued to be opening positions, and then when we swept the longs up in here, it didn't really grab anything. You can see it didn't even break a lower low here, so there were still tons and tons of longs on the market. Longs continued to open right here, so just too many longs open in the market. We weren't gonna be able to just keep marching up and let these people get away with it. This is what you wanted to see. Open interest falling. This is meaning that positions are closing in the market. You can see the cumulative volume delta is going down, so no one is longing this, right? People are now bottom shorting, noted by there. So you have a lot of people now shorting down here, which is great to see, and he swept this entire range. So this is actually very bullish. I'm not worried about this at all. That you're probably going to see news articles saying, was that the top for Bitcoin? Oh, I'm predicting Bitcoin to have sharp corrections because we had meme coin season and now Bitcoin's going to zero. I don't think so. It's just a big leverage game. There's nothing to be worried about here. This is not spot selling all the way down. No, this is just cascading liquidations, and then now we're going to liquidate all the shorts that just opened because that's what Bitcoin does. So I'm going to end the video on that. Maybe I will make the trading series part, I think 5 we're on now. I might post that tomorrow, or definitely sometime this week, and we'll go into more depth on the trading light, which is a really awesome program. It gives you full order flow, so you can see here, like within the candles, you can actually see how many longs versus shorts are opening. So as you can see, you know, like 488 Bitcoin were topped longed. You know, you have a lot more longs opening than shorts, right? You see the very top of the wick, 15 Bitcoin long, whereas one was shorting. That's an indicator that if you sweep that it is not bullish, right? There's little things like that. There's just a ton of information to go over in this program. I'll be sure to go in depth on this in that trading series, so make sure you guys subscribe so you can keep up to date with that. If you do plan to trade Bitcoin, which I don't recommend, but if you must, make sure you watch the series because it'll help you. But that's going to be all, and I will see you all in the next one.